The die has been cast. The gauntlet has been thrown. 6 teams have answered the bell. Gone now are the poseurs, the desperately incompetent. Only true warriors remain. Fasten your jock straps. It's time for
playoffs.
Let's take a look right now at our Tomaselli brothers scoreboard. Probka and Six-Pack Lou earned first-round byes. New York Football Bryants squeaked into the playoffs. Essentially, Stumps Chumps remix rolled over a la Favre in the Strahan sack record. Stumps Chumps remix's biggest problem was starting Detroit's defense in the Superdome against the Saints. Because Stumps Chumps remix got blown out, New York Football Bryants then got the 3rd seed. Thus, Stumps Chumps remix will now be facing Offsides in the first round of the playoffs. Offsides' team has been firing on all cylinders. This has led him to become a little overconfident. Let's keep in mind that Offsides has lost by 48 points on 3 separate occasions. Backsliding into the 6th seed was Rigmus, who lost in the last week to Probka. Now there's no shame in that. Word on the street is that Probka is Russian for he who makes asses bleed. Or others think it might mean traffic. We had a second to ask Aaron Rodgers what he thinks the word Probka means.
That's not really a word that we've even talked about around.
Well said. Joining us now live via satellite is Ed's Hurricane Sundays. Thank you, Ed's Hurricane Sundays, for taking the time out of your very open schedule now. How do you feel being Lone Star's only victory this season?
That was the worst Sunday of my life. I don't believe I lost. And it knocked me out of playoff contention.
Lone Star was projected to get 67 points in Week 10. She ended up getting about 137. How does that make you feel?
I was projected to kick her ass. Oh man, I don't believe I lost to a bunch of Dancing with the Stars rejects.
When you lost to Lone Star, did you cry a hurricane's worth of tears?
This interview's over.
Just like your season. Well, there's always the consolation. Who cares? Matchups, powered by our gear. We're here with the Week 14 matchups, first week of the playoffs. Joining me is the lovely Princess Stephanie. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me, Commish.
We'd like to jump in right here, and I'd like to take a second and ask you, out of these 4 teams, Offsides, Stumps Chumps Remix, New York Football Bryants, and the Rigmus, who do you think's gonna win?
I'd have to say I like the snake with the little what is it called? Antlers?
Yep.
But the antlers, he looks pretty cool, so I'd have to say Rigamus. And what is a Rigamus anyway?
Excellent question. A Rigmus is the name of the cool crowd that was on Saved by the Bell. Now, anybody who picks that as their team name is probably pretty questionable and shouldn't win anything. Ever.
Oh no.
We're gonna break down the projecteds for the Week 1 playoff matchups. We have Offsides is projected to get 133.82 according to our statistical technicians. Stump Chumps Remix is slated to get 100.59. It doesn't look too close on paper. Stumps Chumps made no effort to better his team and his chances this week, but it should be an exciting matchup.
Why wouldn't Stump Chumps pick up anybody?
He notified me that he didn't need to make any moves because he was already in the playoffs last week. That makes no excuses for this week. He's gonna end up with a first-round playoff exit. The Rigmus is slated to get 132.03, which has the New York Football Bryants slated to get 125.86.
Well, this playoff matchup is only off about 7 points, so it looks like it's going to be really good.
You're right, Princess Stephanie. It is going to be a good matchup. The matchup between the Rigmus and New York Football Bryants all comes down to Romo, Laurent, and Bryant. If they have a big game, it's lights out for New York Football Bryants. The winner of this matchup will then go on to face Probka. The winner of this matchup here will then go on to face Six-Pack Lou. So these are our matchups here for this upcoming Week 14.
Wait a minute, Commish.
Yes, Princess Stephanie.
Females can play fantasy football. Last year, my team won with LeBron James and Derek Jeter. Football!
Unfortunately for Stump's Chumps remix, the Ravens have gone away from the passing game with Joe Flacco and more to the running game with Ray Rice. He has made 0 moves on the waiver wire. I'm picking offsides as my lock of the week. We need to take a second and talk about the dues. A few of you out there have not paid yet. I have a friend who I can call in to do me a favor. He's got a little bit of free time right now. And word on the street is that Evan Dietrich Smith didn't pay his dues. There's only 2 interesting matchups this week. That's because there's only 2 matchups this week. Stay tuned and we'll see who has the ability to go all the way.